Are you a parent who's struggling with getting your child to brush their teeth and cooperate and tolerate brushing their teeth? Well, in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you some very helpful tips in order to help the little child in your life to get that toothbrushing routine under wraps. Hi everybody, I'm Ash the OT, and if you are new to my channel, I provide tips and strategies in order to help children to learn, grow, and make progress in their little lives. So if you have yet to subscribe, make sure you subscribe today. However, just getting right into the swing of things, toothbrushing can be such a hard task for some children. You know, we think of it as something that we just wake up, we just do, and we keep our day going and moving. But for children, especially the ones in our early childhood stages, sometimes it's not that easy. So the first tip that I have for you is to let your child pick out their own toothbrush. Sometimes children just need to feel like they have some control over something because all day, every day, they're being told what to do, what they can't do, what they should do. And sometimes just having a little bit of control over some things can definitely help. One thing you can do is take your child to the store and have them to pick out their favorite toothbrush. It could be a favorite color toothbrush, or it can be a favorite character. Another toothbrushing tip is to make sure that your child has a predictable routine. And that means a couple of things. That means having your child a predictable routine as far as when their teeth gets brushed. So first thing in the morning, or do you guys do it after breakfast, or do you do it right before bed? Make sure that your child knows and is aware of when to expect the teeth brushing, because if you just kind of throw it at them, or if one day it's before breakfast, then the next day it's after they get dressed, it could kind of throw things off. So having a set, steady schedule and routine for when this occurs can definitely help. Another thing that you should have as predictable is the pattern of toothbrushing. So do you always start with the teeth in the front, or do you start with the teeth in the back? Do you start at the bottom and then go to the left side, or do you go to the right and then go to the top? Sometimes kids who are extra sensitive need a set pattern so that they can know what to expect when you're in their mouths, because your mouth is such a sensitive part of your body. So if one day you're kind of here, then you're there, then you're back there, it can get a little crazy for some very sensitive kids, especially if they have sensory sensitivities. So making sure that you have a set pattern can also help with the toothbrushing routine. The third toothbrushing tip is to prepare them ahead of time. Talk about toothbrushing, read books about it, watch shows about it, let them enjoy different cartoons about it, show their favorite character brushing their teeth, or they can do some pretend play and pretend to brush their favorite doll's teeth or their favorite action figure's teeth, or even have them to pretend to brush your teeth. And that way it becomes less scary and more fun for them. In the description box below, I'll leave a couple of my favorite toothbrushing books that are great for kids. The fourth toothbrushing tip is to turn it into a game. Sometimes when things are a game for children, it becomes less fearful and less anxiety ridden and more fun, more lighthearted. So make sure you turn it into a game. You guys can pretend to race. You can turn on a timer and brush your teeth until the timer goes off, whatever the case may be, but make it fun for the child. The fifth toothbrushing tip is to monitor what type of toothpaste you are using. There exists some toddler training toothpaste that you can purchase. Also, there are some non-fluoride toothpaste products, especially for kiddos who have not yet learned to spit. And I'll leave some of those in my description box below as well if you're interested. But sometimes the type of toothpaste that you use really does affect the success of having a great toothbrushing routine for your child. Another strategy that you can use to help with the toothbrushing routine is to provide some deep pressure and some tactile or some deep hugs and touch input before they brush their teeth. Sometimes having like tight hugs or tight squeezes really does help to relax the nervous system. If they're sensitive around the mouth area, you can also work to desensitize that area by maybe providing some massages to the cheek area or the gum area. You can try some of those little nook brushes that you kind of put on the edge of your finger and kind of rub it on their gums and things like that, or do little silly mouth games just to warm their mouths up so that they're not as sensitive when it comes to brushing their teeth. The seventh strategy is to simply adjust the water temperature. Some kids, know it or not, are very sensitive to water temperature. Some kids may prefer it to be lukewarm. Some kids may prefer the water to be kind of on the warmer side. Some children may prefer very, very cold water when brushing their teeth. So if you find that your child is kind of having trouble with toothbrushing, kind of play around with the water temperatures and see if they prefer one over the other. Another toothbrushing tip is to use a toothbrush that has a quiet motor, especially if you're going to be using one of those vibrating or electric toothbrushes, and especially if you have a child who is sensitive to that auditory input. There are toothbrushes out there on the market who have very quiet motors, which makes it easier for the child to tolerate that sound while still enjoying the deep pressure of the vibration. The ninth strategy that you can try when dealing with toothbrushing, especially if it's very difficult and it's very distracting and scary for your child, is to cover the mirror. If you are in the bathroom and your child is brushing their teeth and for whatever reason, that visual sense of them getting their teeth brushed is kind of scary to them and they're not liking it, or it's too distracting where they're not really paying attention and you're trying to teach them the routine and the steps for brushing their teeth, but they keep looking in the mirror and kind of being distracted by all of that visual input, then you may want to cover the mirror temporarily until you can kind of get them to be calm and be regulated. And then slowly you can kind of remove whatever it was that was covering the mirror. But sometimes the mirror can be quite the distraction. So either hide something or have them stand in front of a mirror that is much smaller. And last but not least, if your child is having difficulty with tolerating toothbrushing, you may want to look into trying some toothpaste with different flavors. Or if you're even going to floss their teeth, maybe try some of those gliding floss products that even have like the cinnamon flavor or the minty flavor. The sense of that smell and the taste and all of that can sometimes be actually very soothing and calming for some children. So trying to use all of their senses. You may even want to dim the lights in the bathroom or have a candle lit or play some soft music just to bring an overall calming sensory experience to the routine, especially if it's one that is usually quite difficult for the child. So all in all, I hope these 10 tips helped you all. Please let me know in the comments below what toothbrushing tips works for you and your children. And don't forget to subscribe, to like, and to share, and check out all of my recommendations in the description box below. All right, guys, until next time, I'll see you soon.